Hi everyone, Kevin here, and this is the Logitech MX Master for Amazon. It can connect up to 3 different computers, and you can connect via Bluetooth or via what they're calling the Logitech Unifying Receiver. It's a USB dongle. Not sure why they're saying that. On the back it says it's got a smart wheel, it's got a thumb wheel, it's got fast charging, up to 40 days of power on a single charge. Apparently it can charge for a full day's use in just a couple of minutes, 4 minutes or so. Dark field sensor tracks flawlessly even on glass, and I'm talking silly because I've got my mic and camera in front of me. If I jump over to the browser just for a second, this is the version I've got, Logitech MX Master for Amazon. There is an MX Master, and by the looks of it, they're identical. I'm not sure why there is an Amazon version. Says here it's £47 in the UK. I picked it up for £39.99 in the Black Friday sales. Seems to go up and down in price. It's currently $79.95 in the USA, but I imagine it will go up and down in price there as well. And there is a charging cable you can see here, which is good because it means that if the batteries go dead, you can still charge it up, you can still connect and keep using it. Apparently it was carved by this man in wood, apparently. Now, I have predominantly been using wired mice and wired keyboards over the last few years. The main reason being that, well, a few reasons. The main reason being that batteries were always going. You know, they'd quote a few months of charge and things would, you know, expire much quicker, like after a week or so. And I also found there was always problems. There was always problems with connectivity and things like that I didn't get with wired mice. And, you know, if you've got a desktop computer, oh, nearly missed that. I'll bring this up for a second. If you do have a desktop computer, then, you know, it's not too bad having a wire there. But I do have a lot of USB ports being used, and I do have a lot of wires flying around, so this is why I've got this. I'm taking a chance, people. I'm taking a chance. I'll just bring you down a little bit, and then we'll look at the boring stuff first. I'll get this open. Okay. Oh, I thought that was going to be a manual. This is a little message it's saying about battery disposal. We've got warranty information that no one will ever read. And I don't even know what that is. So there's no manual there, which I realise you can get these things online, but it's a little bit disappointing as well. There should be at least some sort of 3 or 4 page guide showing you how to get started. But, okay, what have we got next? We've got the USB dongle. We've got the USB type A to micro B connection. So you can use this. It seems like a decent length. Let's see. Okay, I use my measuring tape and I've measured this about 1.3 meters. So 130 centimeters and around 51 inches. It does come with this handy little tie here so that you can wrap it up. So that's quite good. It's a decent length. So if you are plugging it into your computer, you've got a decent length there if you need to connect it. So I'll just bring you back up here and let's look at the main attraction, the piece de resistance. Wow, that's nice. It's very nice. So, you know, obviously I've been using this mouse for a long time here, and right away, you know, the thumb rest is the first thing that kind of sticks in there. It's the first thing that I noticed, because this one here, I don't really have a thumb rest. I've got a little bit to rest it there, but I can't really put my thumb down. But this one, it can just kind of sit there. So let's look through. Okay, there's a sticker there. Okay, so there wasn't a manual, but there's easy switch, 1, 2, 3, connect in 3 seconds. So we'll take the sticker off. We've got what's the tracking light. We've got 3 different switches. And assume you hold that in to connect and you push it once. Is that right? Yeah, that looks about right. So that's to connect to 3 different devices, 3 different computers, 3 different laptops. There's power in it just now anyway. So that should help me connect to my computer. I just hold it in for 3 seconds according to Mr. Sticker. We'll just go through the mouse just now. We've got left and right click. We've got a scroll wheel. We've got a little, it looks like a programmable button. At the side here, we've got navigation, a little kind of thumb scrolling, and what looks like 2 different buttons. I always find it difficult to, because it's hard to distinguish between one button and the other there. I always find that difficult, but the scrolling will be useful. It's quite a sexy little mouse when you see it, the design around the side, the black and the gold. We've got the micro USB charging there, and if I get it up to the camera, you can see it's 5 volts, 500 milliamps, and it is made in China. Yeah, I mean, it looks quite good. First impressions are that this is very comfortable. It looks quite sleek, looks quite sexy. It's not too flamboyant, any flashing lights or anything like that. Like, gaming ones always seem to put lots of flashing lights on it. I've been using this for a long time and I'm fairly happy with it, but I must admit, just a few seconds of using this, I do like where this thumb rest goes, and I do like this thumb scrolling. That looks quite good. Okay, so there's not a lot you can say about a mouse after using it for half a second on your desk without connecting it to your computer. So what I'm going to do is connect it to my PC, and I'm going to use this as my main mouse over the next few days, and hopefully this will give me a better understanding of where it excels, what I like, what I don't like, and then I can share it with you guys. Well, 5 days have passed since I unboxed the Logitech MX Master for Amazon, and yeah, I've got a better understanding of how it works, etc. There's a few things that I didn't know at the time. I think, my first impression was that these buttons, I wouldn't be using them, but they're actually quite, I found that I'm actually moving things when I'm doing this on the computer, but there's these little clickable buttons here for back and forth. They work quite well, actually. Now, the other thing is, I didn't realize down here, this is actually a button as well. I don't know if you can hear this. Now, you can set that up to do different things, but that is a clickable button, and you can assign it to do anything that you want. The scrolling button works quite well as well. I haven't really set that up yet. When you first connect this to your computer, and it's connected right now via Bluetooth, and you can connect, as you know, to 3 devices. When it's trying to connect via Bluetooth, when it's made itself available, it will flash like that, but you can see it's here. This one's a solid light because it is already connected. Now, the first time I connected, I actually used this dongle because the PC that I had at the time, the one that I returned, didn't have a network card, so I had to use this dongle. Another cool feature is when you turn it on, it flashes up there. It's a little battery indicator just to give you an idea of how much battery you've got. You can see it through the options area as well, which I'll show you. So when you first load this up and you connect via Bluetooth or via the dongle, you'll see a series of setup screens, and it will ask you to install some software, etc. It's very, very easy to set up, and when it's all set up, this is what you get. You get the Logitech options little software, which is like that. Logitech, in fact, there's a Logitech options, and you can see there I've got a full battery connected via Bluetooth. You can add more devices, and it's just got a basically a rundown of all the different buttons here. Now, the good thing is when you click on anything, you can change it. You can change that from back to forward. You can change it to a gesture button if you wanted to do something. You look at all these different options: close window, close desktop, copy, arrange windows. It's the same with this. This is the main gesture button, the large button that I was talking about. And look at the number of things you can do. To be honest, it's actually a little bit overwhelming that there's that many options. Same with the mode shift button, which it's in a great position that to use as a button. So if there's an app that you'll use, like for example, you could set it up to open File Explorer anytime you click on it, something like that. I haven't really delved, and as I said, I've only had this for 5 days. I haven't really delved deep into this yet. I'm just using it as a regular mouse. But this software, it just illustrates how customizable this mouse is. And without a doubt, I'm sure that when I spend more time with it and set up things in a different way, I'll grow to love it more. Not that I don't love it just now, I do love it, but I'm sure that I'll get more from the mouse when I've customized things like the gesture button, like these back and forward buttons, etc. So there's more things here you can set. I've jumped around the pointer speed. You can see you don't have a fluid control here. It's kind of like predefined ones that you need to select, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Smooth scrolling. This smart shift thing, I didn't know what that was at first, and I jumped over to Reddit and I found an article, like people talking about it, and someone said it's the smart shift is the most advanced of all the toggling methods. It uses electromagnet mechanism for switching, so it makes the toggling smoother. Whether that's the case or not, I don't know. I've got it enabled by default, and it's got the smart shift sensitivity. Again, I'm going to have to mess around with these settings and try and get a feel for, what's the best way to set it up. But overall, I am quite happy with it. So if we jump back over to my browser, and this is the UK listing, and you can tell it's 5 days later, because when I first looked at this, I bought it for about 40. I think the last time I showed you it was about £47, and now it's back up to £80. Now, here's something that I discovered, and I think it is it's very confusing. In fact, it's very, very confusing. But you've got the Logitech MX Master. You've got the MX Master for AMZ. Sorry, I say that was 80. This is the one I'm reviewing, the Logitech Master AMZ. This is where it gets confusing. So it's 60. So I paid 40, went up to 47. It's now at 64.93. So it shows you how volatile this is. It always seems to be cheaper than the MX Master version for whatever reason. So go for the cheaper version. But just to confuse things, you've got the MX Master, you've got for AMZ, you've got the MX Master. But you've also got the MX Master 2S. Now, you can see here it's at a similar price. And it's the same in the US. You've got the MX Master. And if you look, there's an MX Master 2S there as well. Now, someone was saying that the only real difference here is the flow-like feature. So this, I was confused about this because the Master 2S is listed on, this is a UK website, it's listed there. And when you look at the mouse, it's identical, 100%. I can't see anything that's different, other than the fact that this version is black. I couldn't see any difference. It's identical. So I was getting confused. I was thinking, is the MX Master 2S the same? Is the MX Master for AMZ the same as the 2S, or is this the same as the original? It is a little bit confusing as far as when you look at it from a design point of view. Apart from the color, it looks identical. But someone was talking there on Reddit, and they said, "Do you want a flow-like feature?" And the feature I was talking about here is this. There's an option here where you can basically you can use the same mouse across different computers, and what they're saying is you can do it. It works with Mac and Windows, and if I copy something on this laptop and then just use the same mouse to go into the other laptop or computer and paste, then it will copy those files over. So it kind of works like a file management system using the mouse. But I mean, look at this, it's like 100% the same design. Apart from the software side, I don't think they've changed anything. So it's a little bit confusing in that regard. I don't claim to know all, the answers to that. I think it's very confusing for consumers. I was certainly a little bit baffled when I looked at the fact that the original and the 2S look identical. And, on as far as pricing goes as well, you've got the MX Master at £80 there, and you've got the 2S at £84. So, practically the same price. And then there's an Anywhere at 2S, which is a completely different mouse by the looks of it. But the one that I've been reviewing, the one that I've been showing you in this video, this one, is the MX Master for AMZ, and I believe it is the original MX Master. So I don't know. I don't think I would use that flow feature anyway. So I don't feel that I've missed out. I don't feel that I've missed anything. So yeah, hopefully that clarifies any confusion about that, because if you're watching this video and you've been considering this mouse, you might have been a little bit confused about that as well. So going back to the mouse, and I'll jump back to my overhead camera. So, do I like the mouse? Yes. It's a very, very comfortable mouse. There's, sometimes I think with mice as well, you can add in a lot of buttons and it becomes this confusing. I've had mice before, I've bought them before, and they put all these buttons in all these bizarre, positions, and it just makes the actual mouse a little bit harder to use, in my opinion. But this one, they've got the mode shift button there. Your traditional mouse will have the left click, right click, and you've got your scroll wheel, middle click. But this has got the gesture button, it's got the horizontal wheel, You've got the back and forth buttons, and all of these can be adjusted, every single thing here. So you've got the mode, the gesture button, the back and forth, and scroll, and even the main buttons if you want to change those as well. These can all be changed. So what I like about this is that for a traditional mouse, the left and right mouse buttons, everything, is there, but these additional buttons don't get in the way. It's easy to reach that, but it's not in the way of your normal, the normal functions of a mouse. Also, this gesture button, maybe I was being idiotic, but I didn't even know it was there for a few days, because you rest your hand on it and you don't press it. It's only if you actually, put the thumb down on purpose like that anything happens. And you guys can't see that, but my windows are opening and stuff when I do that, because it's at the moment it's set up to change windows, for me to switch applications, kind of like an alt tab situation. So yeah, I like the fact there's all these extra buttons, but they're not in the way, but they're accessible, if that makes sense. I like the charging button. It does seem, I like the fact this, if I switch it off and back on, there we go. I like the fact this indicator is here. That's something that I really, it sounds small, but I like the fact that when you light it and you go, okay, it's got one bar, I'll stick in the micro USB charger for a few hours and use it that way. Connects very quickly, like instantly this connects. The other thing as well, I'm not 100% sure of this, I'll need to check, but I think it must have some sort of sleep mechanism. Maybe it doesn't, but I did realise that when, there was a few times I'm just forgetting to turn this off. I'm not turning it off at night time, and when I turn on my computer, I just start using it again, and it doesn't seem to be affecting battery life. But the fact that this has 30, 40 days, whatever it is, battery life, 40 days on a single charge up, actually. The fact this has got like 40 days on a single charge, I wouldn't notice it. So if you just leave it, I had other mice where that wasn't the situation. For example, I had the Apple Magic Mouse, and as fancy as it was, I've since traded it in, I believe, although I might have it there sitting somewhere. As far as the Magic Mouse was good once you get used to it, but it ate batteries like there was no tomorrow. Like, I was burning up batteries like every 4 or 5 days. It was ridiculous how many batteries, and part of the reason was I was forgetting to turn it off. This doesn't seem to have that problem. Or maybe, the charge is just that good where it isn't an issue. Now, I have been saying many, many times that this thing is comfortable. It's very comfortable to use. That being said, the fact that this is comfortable, I don't think this is ideal for gamers. Now, this is a personal preference, of course it is. You can use any mouse you want. This can go up to something, I think it's like 4000 DPI, as far as being sensitive. So it can be used, for games, of course it can. But I don't know, just like the bigger style of this mouse, it just feels more suited towards a productivity type of thing. I think if I was gaming, this one seems a little bit quicker to me. You guys might disagree with that though, but I think this is geared more towards people that are using a computer to be productive, to work, rather than someone that's playing Battlefield or Call of Duty or anything like that. I'm just guessing at this point. No, I did try this out with a driving game and I was using it. And undoubtedly I will be using this mouse for games at one point. I will. But, if you're a dedicated gamer, you'd probably be looking at a different mouse than this. That's my whole point here. So overall, I am very happy with this. The whole MX Master for Amazon thing, it's a little bit bizarre. They throw out 2 versions there. In fact, 3 versions. They've now got the 2S. I don't think there is even a 2. So that kind of side of it is confusing. But what I would do is check the price of this. It seems to go up and down erratically. I've never seen any product go up and down so much in my life. It always, anytime you check it, it's going up by 10, by 20, up and down all the time. I don't know why that is. I don't know what the strategy is with that. But what I would say is if it's, if this is, this price is very close to the 2S, probably go for the 2S. Get those extra features. It's a newer mouse. But when this is like half the cost of the 2S or even like 2/3 the cost, you'd maybe be leaning more towards this one. Unless you really need that flow feature where you control, a mouse and copy files, etc. across multiple computers. That seems a little bit niche though. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope I have given you a basic understanding of what this mouse can do. I haven't covered everything. Of course I haven't. But if there's anything that I haven't covered, or if there's anything that you wanted me to cover and I didn't, post a question below in the comment area. I'll do my best to explain. I'll post a link to the the sales page, etc. You can check out the information about what it can do and what it can't do. At £40, I think I picked up a bargain. At 80, maybe I probably wouldn't have pulled the trigger and bought it at £80 if I'm honest. But at the £80, you'd maybe be leaning more towards that 2S. So thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. Post a comment, share, like, and all that. And I'll speak to you all very soon. Take care.